Hello everyone, it's the Tutor here. Today I'm bringing you another Magic the Gathering Tarkir Dragonstorm Precon opening. I'm really excited about this one. Taval is definitely my favorite, I think, out of all the dragons, just in terms of design looks. So I'm really excited to open this Precon, see kind of everything that's inside. Of course, since he is like a black creature, I did pull out the Dragon Shield and the deck box that's purple. This one's the purple net. Once again, I am not sponsored by Wizards or Dragon Shield, although I would love to one day. So if you want to see that happen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch all of my videos so that can happen. So I am going into this blind. I'm not sure everything that's in this Precon exactly, but Grow Back from Beyond, Taval the Balanced Scale. Of course, I will be choosing Taval to be my commander, as I am all the Precons. I'm choosing the dragon. So yeah. So I'm going to open these up. I'll put these to the side right now. I'm going to be not going too much in depth with like how cards fit into the deck, but I will slowly go over each and every single card just so you know exactly what's in the deck. I won't glance over it, and I'll leave them in the process. I'm going to be skipping the lands, though. I'll show you what lands come in it, but I won't let you guys put through the just the whole process of me sleeving the lands. And of course, we do have the Tarkir Dragonstorm Collector Booster Sample Pack. And then here's the deck in its glory. You also do get the deck box, but obviously, since I don't need it, I'm going to be probably taking the +1/+1 counters off of this at least, and just scrapping the whole deck box completely. Although it is cool. So you also get this, which kind of talks about how to play Commander and playing this deck. Dredge the bottom of the Sultai swamps with this graveyard churning strategy. Put cards into your graveyard and bring them back in any way you can to get the most value out of the mighty clan dragon. Taval the Balanced Scale. Place a Diviner of Mist money elite Djinns and get rewarded with free spell casts and extra zombie druid tokens from Taval. Convert your creature cards in hand into landfall triggers with Floral Evoker and then reanimate them and your opponent's creatures with Afterlife from the Loam. As an ultimate commander, Kotis Sibsig champion uses your full graveyard to sculpt an army from the bog and lets the Sultai rise again. And here's kind of like a full kind of art of this, and talks about Taval. So if you want to take a look at this, go ahead. This is Kotis. I will be kind of pausing every 10 minutes. It makes it easier to kind of upload and go. I have issues trying to upload long videos like that, so I break them up into 10-minute videos and then I combine them on my video editing software. So if you see like a kind of a weird kind of like jump lag or just something just not right, it's probably because I hit the 10-minute mark. I'm not sure how long the videos will go on for, but they'll probably be about like 30-minute videos. But obviously you guys can kind of see what how long the video will be. Just carefully removing the wrapping from the thing. All right. I, as always, am going to sleeve the commander with a different sleeve. Makes it easier to find. So this is Taval once again. It's a 4-cross creature with flying. Whenever Taval attacks, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Whenever one or more cards leaves your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. which is pretty nice. I like landfall decks. I like getting lands out early in Commander. It's really, really nice. All right, so let's open up this sample booster pack. Since they're so small, I don't want to damage all the cards. So, we get this. Oh, we got the Ambling Storm Shell Turtle. I do want to make a turtle deck at some point. That's nice. Then you got Purging Stormblood with, again, this cool border. Love it. But we're not here for these two cards. We are here for the Precon. Alright. First, let's open the Dragon Shield sleeves and see them in their full glory. And these do look pretty cool, honestly. They're actually on screen, they're a little bit brighter, but these are our darker purple color. I'll flip these up and let's get into this. All right, so this is the other commander. This is going to be a Kotis Simsig champion. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard, in addition to paying its other maintenance cost. Whenever one or more creatures you control enter, or if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2+1/+1 counters on Kotis. I'm gonna adjust the brightness quickly. Next, we have Diviner of the Mist, flying. Whenever this creature attacks, mill 4 cards. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard with mana value 4 or less without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. This is going to be Afterlife from the Loom, or Loam. It's an 8-cost black. Delve, which reads each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1, so that's super nice considering its high mana cost. For each player, choose up to 1 target creature card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. There are zombies in addition to their other types, so it's a really nice card. This is Taval's Judgment, and Taval is obviously the clan, I believe. Whenever one or more cards enters your graveyard, choose one that hasn't been done this turn. Draw a card, create a treasure token, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Breeding Haste as an enchantment. This is, of course, my Precon of choice that I wanted the most, but I got all of them, so I'm really happy about that. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and you lose 2 life. Create X tapped 2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens, where X is the number of cards that were put into your graveyard from your hand or library this turn, and you can have a flashback. You can cast it as flashback. Floral Evoker. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Works really well, obviously, with the commander, being able to put card or lands from the graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. And you can pay 1 green to discard a creature card and return the target land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, so you can just get more and more lands out. Steward of the Harvest with a beautiful artwork. I love this. It's a 3/3 human druid. Whenever this creature enters, exile up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard. Creatures you control have all activated abilities of all land cards exiled with this creature. Will of the Sultai. It's a sorcery. You can choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you can choose both instead. And 1 effect reads target player mills 3 cards, return all land cards from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Or you can put the X +1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is the number of lands you control. It gains trample until the end of the turn. This is Colossal Grave Reaper. Flying, and whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield. Next we have a Grave Crawler. It's a 1 black cost creature zombie token. This creature can't be blocked. You may cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. So this is honestly a pretty good card for just paying 1. Super nice. And as you see, there's some combos already where you can get zombies pretty easily on the board. Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand, and you can dredge this. So if you would draw a card, you may mill 3 cards instead. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Next, we have a 6 cost card called Casualties of War. You can choose 1 or more, so you can destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, land, planeswalker. Next, we have Anthin Multineer. This is a Salamander Pirate. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a blue or 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token, and it has Encore. And Encore is whenever, or you can exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy of that attacks that opponents this turn if able. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. It's pretty nice. Next we have another blue card. It's called River Kelp, or Kelpie. Whenever this creature or another permanent enters from a graveyard, draw a card. Whenever a player casts a spell from the graveyard, draw a card and has persist. When this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with -1/-1 counter on it. So that's pretty nice. Next we have this Voidwalker. Shadow. This creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a void counter on it. Sacrifice this creature, choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. Disciple of Bulas. It's a 4-cost card. Human Wizard. Whenever this creature enters, sacrifice another creature. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Nice card draw in there. This artwork goes crazy. Junji of the Midnight Sky. Look at that card. Beautiful. Flying Menace. When Junji dies, choose 1. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. Put target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Lose 2 life. Next we have an instant for 4 cost. With Convoke, your creatures can help cast the spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 colorless or 1 mana of that creature's color. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked this spell connives, draw a card, and then discards a card. If you discard a non-land card, put +1/+1 counter on that card. So that's pretty nice. Living Death. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard and then sacrifices all creatures they control, then puts all cards they exile this way onto the battlefield. So since you're milling so many more cards, I'm sure you'll have more cards in your graveyard than your opponents. So that works with the commander pretty well. Lord of the Forsaken. Demon. Flying Trample. So you can pay 1 black to sacrifice another creature. Target player mills 3 cards. Pay 1 life, add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast a spell from your graveyard. This is Necromantic Selection. Destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put into the graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Exile Necromantic Selection. So another way to generate more zombie tokens. Necropolis Fiend, which has Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1 flying. You pay X and tap it to exile X cards from your graveyard. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. That's a pretty good way just to kind of get rid of something that may be just kind of annoying. Like something with Indestructible. Noxious Gearhulk Menace. When this creature enters, you may destroy another target creature. If creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. So that's pretty nice. So how are you guys liking this series so far? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my tutoring time short, which goes over all the mechanics of you know, just the keywords like landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, put 3+1/+1 counters on Nixilis. Tassagur, the Golden Fane, which has Delve. You can pay 2 colorless and either a green or a blue 2 times to mill 2 cards, then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. Next we have Woe Strider. When this creature enters, create a 0/1 white goat creature token. Sacrifice another creature, scry 1, escape. You can pay 3 colorless and 2 black to exile 4 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. This creature escaped with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Next, we have a 5 cost, colorless, and 2 mana for 7 total. Creature Druid. When this creature enters, you can create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. Sorry about that. I just had to let my dog kind of chill out a little bit, and then I wanted to get back into this. All right. I also cleaned the lens too, made for a little bit better quality. Conduit of the Worlds. An artifact for 4. You may play lands from your graveyard. Obviously pairs well with Commander. Choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn, activate only as a sorcery. Next, we have Multani's Yavimai's Avatar. It's a legendary creature. Reach Trample. It gets +1/+1 for each land you control and each land card in your graveyard, which is saying you can pay 1 colorless and 1 green to return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return this card from your graveyard to your hand. So, super nice, because you won't have any issues really probably being able to pay for it, and it just gets, it's a really easy way just to get a really powerful creature card out pretty consistently. This is a legendary creature or enchantment creature. It's a Snake Druid, and it can return it to its owner's hands and reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest into your graveyard, and you can channel to discard this card and return X target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. So obviously another way to get some you know, cards out. Consuming Aberration. This creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, then puts those cards into their hand. Now, as you know, there's multiple ways to get cards into their graveyard and have them mill too, so. Next we have Dragonstorm Golari Lich Lord. And this is a legendary creature, it's a zombie elf, and it gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. You can spend 1 black, 1 colorless, and 1 green to sacrifice another creature toker. Sacrifice another creature and each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power, which honestly would pair pretty well with Multani here. You can sacrifice a swamp and a forest to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. And since there's ways to get card or lands from your graveyard onto the battlefield, that shouldn't be an issue, assuming you're able to do that. Next we have Lord of Extinction. It's a creature elemental. This creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in all graveyards. So that's a very strong card. Marin of the Neltoth. It's a legendary creature, human shaman. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's mana value is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return to the battlefield, otherwise put it into your hand. Alright, so we have a couple of lands. Not sure how many are going to be like this. But usually they just have a couple of these kind of lands and then they'll go back to creature cards. This has been like, I'm pretty sure, every single precon so far. I mean, it's a good one. So, I mean, look at these. This art is really cool. I see this played quite a bit, specifically that land. All right. Sorry about that. Happened again. All right, so we went through those lands. Next we have Essence Anchor. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1, and you can look at the top card of your library, and you can create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token, activate only during your turn, and only if a card left your graveyard this turn, which is pretty easy to do, considering this is the deck. Arcane Signet, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity, obviously, and then next you have Soul Ring, of course, which is found in pretty much every single commander deck, where you can just add 2 colorless by paying 1. This is Command Tower again. Alright, Forbidden Alchemy. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. With flashback, you can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost. So nice card draw right there. Next we have a Crab. As landfall, whenever a land you control enters, target player mills 3 cards. They put the top 3 cards of the library into the graveyard. That in fact does mean mill. Here is a Treasure Cruise and Delve. Once again, as you can see, Delve is kind of a common keyword for this precon. Draw 3 cards. This is a crazy artwork. Flying, as long as this card is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Pretty nice. Next we have Phyrexian Reclamation. You can spend 1 colorless, 1 black and pay 2 life to return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty nice. So it's a really cheap way to get that if something dies. Next we have Reassembling Skeleton, cost 2. Then for its effect, where you pay 1 colorless, 1 black to return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Next we have Stitcher's Supplier, and it's a zombie where you can mill 3 cards when this card enters. Next we have a sorcery card called Victimize, cost 3. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard, sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Next we have some Tarkir cards, at least. With Kishla's Skimmer, it's a scout, flying. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Otherwise, that would be very broken in this deck. Next, we have Crawling Sensation. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 2 cards. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 green instant creature token. Next we have Cultivate, which, as you guys know, is a very common card you'll see in Commander due to how powerful it is. You can search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield, tap and another onto your hand, and then shuffle, all for the cost of 2 colors and 1 green. Next we have Farseek. You can search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle, which is really good for this deck considering the commander is a black, green, and blue creature. Next we have Grapple with the Past. It's an instant where you can mill 3 cards. Then you may return a creature or a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Next we have Harrow, or 3. It's an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice land. You can search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield, then shuffle. So that's just an easy way to get more lands on the field, honestly. Speaking of lands, here we have Opulent Palace. Alright, and another really common card you'll see is Rampant Growth. And you can just search your library for a basic land card and put that onto the battlefield tapped. You guys should know what this card is. Sakura Tribe Elder. It is a snake shaman, and you can sacrifice this creature, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So that's pretty good growth, honestly, or, you know, cost just for an effect. Next we have Satyr Wayfinder. When this creature enters, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them into your hand, put the rest into the graveyard. So just a nice way to mill some cards while get 1 card in your hand. So pretty nice. Next we have Spring Bloom Druid. When this creature enters, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put the one of your tap, then shuffle. Same exact effect, I'm pretty sure, as the one we just showed you. Next we have Tear Asunder with Kicker. You may pay an additional 1 colorless, 1 black as you cast a spell, and you can exile artifact or enchantment. If this spell was kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. Next we have Timeless Witness. It's a human shaman. When this creature enters, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. As Eternalized, you can spend 7 mana to exile this card from your graveyard to create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie human shaman with no mana cost. You can only use Eternalize as a sorcery. Next we have Grizzly Salvage. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or a land or card from among them into your hand. You can put the rest into your graveyard. Another way to mill some cards. Get some more lands in your graveyard. Next we have Nyx Weaver. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 2 cards. Exile this creature, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So just in case you mill something maybe you don't want to mill. Next we have Putrefy. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. So in case there's a card with regeneration. Next we have Skull Prophet for 2, and you can add, it's a mana dork, add black or green, and you can build 2 cards if you'd like. Next we have Milliken, which is an artifact creature construct, and you can mill a card to add to that. Next, it looks like we're getting into the lands finally. So I'll show you the artwork and just talk for a little bit. Let me just make it a little bit nicer looking. So what do you guys think of this precon? If there's some combo I didn't say, let me know in the comments below. I know for a fact I did. Also, feel free to share some substitutions you would make into this deck. And these basic lands are just kind of cool looking. I mean, look at that. It just looks cool. I'm a sucker for just different artworks and whatnot. Here are the swamps finally. Forest. Oops, I dropped it. Next you have your tokens. So I'll just show you these 2. Then on the other side, that's cool. That the Salamander card. Timeless Witness. Insect. Alright, I'll be back once I sleeve the islands. Alright guys, I got done finished sleeving all the different lands. So I did a little bit of calculations. There's about 37 land cards in this deck, which is above normal. Usually you try to keep it to like maybe a third of the deck, maybe a little bit less. However, since this is a mill land kind of deck in landfall, you're going to want to get your cards out more. Of course, that's because of Taval's ability. You mill 3 cards and then you return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So that's awesome. And whenever, you know, leaves your graveyard, you create a 2/2 black zombie, you do a creature token, which is why there's so many tokens in this deck. And then going back to this backup commander, once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature card from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard. Shouldn't be an issue considering how many mill cards are in this deck, as we saw before. And whenever one or more creatures you control enters, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from the graveyard, put 2+1/+1 counters on Codis. So, all right, well that is the precon, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. If you're still there, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means a great deal to me. Please watch this. I hope you watch this video to the very end. That helps my channel too, as it helps me get monetized by YouTube, because you need like, I think 3,000, 4,000 hours of watch time total. So this would help me out a lot. All right, so if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye.